We thought we found the perfect abandoned house for a party, but a man in a truck chased us down the road to make sure we never went inside. And when I later discovered what was happening inside that house, I realized we had come way too close to something terrifying. When I was 17 and had just gotten my driver's license, my friends and I had a strange hobby. We searched for abandoned houses, not to explore ghosts or anything like that, but to throw parties. You know the kind. High school parties where there were no parents, no neighbors, and no chance of the cops showing up. Most of the places we found were terrible. Small houses, places too close to the road, or buildings that clearly still belonged to someone. But there was one house I kept seeing when I drove home from work, and every time I passed it, I stared, because it was huge. A massive unfinished house sitting alone on a giant piece of land outside town. No lights, no cars, no fences, just a giant skeleton of a house surrounded by trees. The windows were empty, black holes, the doors were missing, and the whole place looked like construction had suddenly stopped years ago. Like everyone working there had just disappeared. Eventually, I told my friend Mark about it. He immediately said, "Dude, that's the party house." So one night before we were supposed to meet friends at the movies, we decided to check it out, just to make sure it was actually abandoned. Looking back now, I really wish we hadn't. It was early evening when we turned onto the road that led to the property. The sun was dropping behind the trees and the whole place looked darker than it should have. My headlights lit up the long gravel driveway as we slowly pulled in. The closer we got, the bigger the house looked. Half-built walls, empty window frames, huge open rooms with no lights inside. It didn't feel like a house. It felt like a giant empty shell. Mark leaned forward in his seat. "Dude, this place is massive." I parked the car near the front. We didn't even get out. We just sat there staring at it. The entire property was silent. No wind, no birds, no sound at all. Just the quiet rumble of my engine and the strange feeling that we weren't alone. Then Mark suddenly said, "Hey, did you see that?" "What?" I thought something moved behind the house. I stared into the darkness, but I couldn't see anything. Just shadows, half-built walls, and empty black windows staring back at us. We were only there for about 10 seconds before I said, "All right, let's go." So I put the car in reverse and started backing out of the driveway. That's when Mark looked into the side mirror and said something that made my stomach drop. "Dude, there's a truck." Before I tell you what happened next, I want to ask you something. If you saw a truck suddenly appear behind you in the middle of nowhere, would you stop and talk to the driver? Or would you just drive? Let me know in the comments, because what happened next still freaks me out. At first, I thought the truck had just been driving down the road, but the way it moved didn't feel normal. It came fast. Within seconds, it was right behind us. High beams blasting into my mirrors, tailgating us aggressively. Mark turned around in his seat. "Dude, he's right on us." I pressed the gas and drove toward the main road, but the truck followed. Close. Way too close. Like the driver didn't care if he hit us. We reached the road and turned toward town. For a second, I thought we were safe. Then Mark looked back again. Nope, he's still there. The truck was glued to our bumper. High beams on engine roaring. And getting closer. A minute later, we reached a traffic light. It. Turn. Red. Primera. Slowed down. And that's when the truck did something insane. Instead of stopping behind us, it cut through a gas station parking lot and pulled directly in front of our car, blocking the road. My stomach dropped. The driver door opened, and a huge man stepped out. He was massive, broad shoulders, thick arms, the kind of guy that looked like he could break you in half. He walked slowly toward my car. Mark whispered beside me, "Dude, lock the doors." I did. The man reached my window, then knocked on the glass. 3 slow taps. Tap, tap, tap. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. "Don't open it," Mark whispered, but the man was already staring directly into my eyes. Waiting. So slowly, I rolled the window down. The man leaned down toward the car. His face was half hidden in the headlights. He stared at us for a few seconds. Then he asked one question. "What are you boys doing at that house?" My brain went blank. Then I said the first thing that came to mind. "We were just making a U-turn." The man stared at me for a long time. Then he smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. It was the kind of smile someone gives when they know you're lying, but they're enjoying the lie. Then he asked something that made my skin crawl. "You boys didn't go inside, did you?" I shook my head quickly. "No, sir." He leaned closer to the window. So close I could smell cigarette smoke on his clothes. Then he whispered, "Good. You don't want to go in there." Then he stepped back and waved us through hoose like that. We drove away as fast as possible. Neither of us spoke for several minutes. Finally, Mark said, "Dude, that house isn't abandoned." And honestly, A was right. But the part that scared me the most happened later that night. When I got home, I looked up the property online, and what I found made my stomach drop. The place had been under investigation for months. Police suspected illegal activity happening there. Drug operations, human trafficking, things far worse than teenagers throwing parties. But they never had enough evidence to search the property, and then something hit me. That man didn't chase us because we were He chased us because he thought we had seen something. Something inside that house. And to this day, that building is still unfinished. Still empty. Still sitting on that same piece of land. And sometimes, when I drive past it late at night, I swear I see a truck parked behind it, waiting. If you enjoy true disturbing stories like this, make sure to subscribe and follow for more real horror encounters. Because sometimes, the scariest stories aren't about ghosts. They're about real people.